What about academic ASL? Hey everybody. So I'm posting this vlog today because I want to respond to the ongoing controversy about the use of cued speech at the Illinois School for the Deaf and their changing educational philosophy in regards to language. So my good friend Kevin Smith actually graduated from the Illinois School for the Deaf, and he was trying to explain to me that I shouldn't be too quick to judge their use of cued speech because the schools have diminishing student enrollment, and with cued speech they'll be able to use that in the classroom and then switch over to ASL in the dorms after classroom hours. And I thought, oh, well, okay. Now, in the midst of all this discussion, I think we've missed the most important, well, actually the two most important points. The first is that this is the exact same struggle we've been having with hearing people since basically time began. Hearing people making decisions for deaf people, how we should live, how we should be educated, over and over and over again. And it just upsets me so much. Wow. So I asked Kevin, well, how would you feel if white people decided to start controlling your educational decisions? You know you'd be upset. It's the exact same situation as with deaf people. What if Asians decided to make decisions for the way you should live? What if the Jewish people decided to make decisions for you and your children? It's just like hearing people and deaf people. And we can all see at the Illinois School for the Deaf that it's the same. It's hearing people making decisions. It's hearing people in their little machinations deciding this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to educate deaf people. Now, honestly, cued speech is only used by a small number of people. But with ASL, you could go anywhere. It's clear. It's to the point. There's no problems. But hearing people want to repress that. They want to push that under the rug. Now, the second point is really important, and I want to emphasize it. All languages, whether it's sign language, English, Spanish, Russian, it doesn't matter. They've all got two different forms. And a lot of people don't realize this, so let me explain it to you. And we're going to use ASL and English as our examples. Now, ASL has two divergent forms called academic ASL and social ASL. English, just like ASL, has two different forms, academic and social. So watch this. Academic language means in the classroom, learning the rules and the grammar that supports language development, proper language development. And social language refers to casual language in meal times and social activities with your family, with your friends. Now with English, academic English means sitting in a classroom, learning nouns, verbs, parts of speech, word endings, all those different things that English has to support proper language development. Social English would be texting, Facebook, blogging, casual notes, things that aren't formal, just the natural way that people speak. And that academic English supports social English. Now with ASL, social ASL is easy. You see it in deaf socials, at meal times, after class hours, just people sitting around chatting. Now what about academic ASL? Do we really have an established system for teaching academic ASL in our schools? We don't. There's maybe 2, 3, or 4 schools for the deaf in this country that have an established, rigorous program for teaching academic ASL. So academic ASL would teach the rules of the language. And, I see many people making mistakes when they sign, and it just drives me crazy. Like this. My name, Joey, Joey. Last name, Bear, Baer. That doesn't even look right. I have 4 cars with the palm turned outward. I have 3 children, again, with the palm of the number 3 turned outward. That's wrong. We have numbering rules in American Sign Language. For things, I have 4. See, the back of the hand faces outward. 3, same thing. But with things like phone numbers, house numbers, the palm faces outward. For any informational numbers, the rule is, for phone numbers, for house numbers, the rule is that the palm faces outward. But for things, the rule is that the back of the hand faces outward. What about football scores? Oh, we tore that team up, 4-9-0. That's not right. With a score, you have the winning score on top, 49. The losing score, 0 in the bottom, 49 over 0. And we have these rules, and it's so important. And the next thing is expression. Look at this. Watch this. Oh, we tore that team up. We destroyed their team. Now compare it to, oh, we tore them up. We destroyed them. We have role shifting. We have all these different things that aren't being taught. We need to teach receptive skills to our students. We need for students to see different signing styles, to get used to different ways of signing, so that when they go out into the community, they're super skilled and they can already understand different people's styles. That way there's no confusion switching from one person to another. We need to teach receptive skills. We need to go in depth. We need to go in depth in academic ASL. Academic English is already in depth. There's well-established lists of rules and conventions. We need that. So I think that these are the problems we've got here. We've got lousy sign language. We've got hearing people making decisions. We've got things like cued speech happening at the schools for the deaf. We've got hearing people making all these decisions. And that's really the root of the problems. We need to ask the deaf community, what do you want? Do you want our children to be supported? Do you want parents to be scared and to oppress and to force oral education on their deaf children? No, we need to support the use of ASL. We need to stop all this nonsense that's being made up and spread around. So I think what we need to be discussing is bringing academic ASL up to the level of academic English. So the point is to educate our deaf children. We need to teach our deaf children proper ASL. That way they can learn proper English. They can switch back and forth between the two. They can be fully bilingual and bicultural. Cued speech is really only useful in a classroom setting. Just like C and signed English, it's just a tool. It's just a tool for supporting language. It's not a substitute for language. If you want to have the benefit of those tools, that's fine. But we need to be encouraging academic ASL for our children. Now, I've met so many oral people who grew up oral, and it's heartbreaking because they were desperate for sign language when they were growing up, and they didn't have it. Kevin Smith, you're lucky. You grew up signing. You can vlog, you can switch back and forth between English and ASL. You have that benefit. You have that privilege. I have that privilege, but a lot of people don't. So in summation, I think the main point is that we need to look, the main point of looking at these two languages and the two forms of language is that we need to support academic ASL. And not just at the Illinois school, but all the schools for the deaf. We should be supporting the growth of ASL and establishing guidelines for teaching academic ASL to our children so they can grow up to be successful deaf adults. And, you know, a lot of people don't realize how sophisticated ASL is either. I mean, look at a linear language like English. You can only speak one language at a time, one word at a time, one idea at a time. But with ASL, with two hands and facial expressions and classifiers, you can express so many ideas at once. ASL is amazing at that kind of thing. I guess the discussion will continue until we reach an agreement. Thanks for watching, everybody.